Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 27th of October. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Sandfire Resources, CSR, EnviroSuite, Arizona Lithium and Lake Resources. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter. But my stock tips actually come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you've subscribed to that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, please share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you've had enough of this market and you need a bit of extra help, please give me a call and I'll explain how that service works. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got a daily chart here of Sandfire. As we could see, it remains in a downtrend. If we zoom in, most recently it was looking like it was going to break support, and the reason why I say that is after it rallied in July and came back to test it, we could see that the bounces were smaller and smaller, but it continued to remain on this line, and that was always a negative sign. Clear break on volume. Now it hasn't followed through on the downside, but we could see that it's not making any progress either. So, in my opinion, I'd rather be out of this because it needs to get back above this line. I'd rather wait for it to get back above this line and then it's a buy. Otherwise, I think the risk is to the downside, and you'd be looking at buying at lower levels. Okay, CSR. So we've got the bounce off the June low, hasn't gone back to retest it like the broader market. We could see over the last couple of months volatility has picked up, so quite big sort of swings here in trading ranges. But it's becoming clearer now that we do have a consolidation, so a nice sideways consolidation. Looks like it wants to rally here, so it's bouncing nicely off support, good little price action here, but I think ultimately you'd wait for an upside break and then that would be the buy signal. Okay, EnviroSuite, this is a daily chart, obviously very large daily trading ranges, so we'll just swap to a weekly chart just for a better look. And as we could see, most obviously just a big sort of sideways channel here with some clear lines of support and resistance. So yeah, all I could see is something moving in a massive channel. I think in terms of a buy, I can't see any sort of reversals here. You'd need to see like a nice big sort of move like this on volume. So I guess if it comes back here and then you get one of those big volume moves, that would be the buy. But at the moment, it just looks like it's going to continue drifting south. AZL, so if we move back here to the daily, obviously big run there, late last year, early this year. It's come back, seems to be forming a bit of a base. But if we zoom in, we can see that apart from leveling out here, we've got a couple of rallies here on big volume, and then it eases back, sort of rounds out, lower volume, big volume on the way up, again, lower volume on the way down. So that's a bullish sign. It does look like it's trying to get going again, so we've got some spikes in volume here as it's trying to break out of this base. So yeah, you might need to see a bit more evidence, perhaps at least clear this high as well, but I think there's early signs this thing looks like it's trying to get a move on. Okay, and Lake. So terrible price action here, but then we've had that massive run up on volume and then easing back on lower volume. So it looks like a classic sort of flag. So there's your flagpole and your flag. So overall, that's a positive sign for it. It does look like it's starting to get going here. So possibly sort of breaking that, depending where you draw your lines. If I zoom in quite a bit more, we could see nice move up here and then just a sideways move here to consolidate. So I think it does look like it wants to potentially get going. I think the next buy would be if it just gets out of this little range. So say above $1.10, that's the next buy signal. And I think if it drops below this range, say about $1, that would be a negative. But early signs, this one looks like it's trying to get going as well. All right, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and I'll try to cover it next week for you.